Good evening, everyone, and it's 6 o'clock because we appreciate everybody's timeliness, and we start on time and we end early, and those are the right things for us to do. So welcome. I am Grandview Mayor Leonard Jones, and we're doing the State of the City this evening. Other folks may come in, but we will continue from there. We do have a number of people with us. I will get a chance to introduce some of our elected officials, but we also have Jackson County Legislator Sean Smith with us today. So, Sean, thank you, sir, for being here. We appreciate it. Miss Valerie Poindexter is behind me, our communications director. So you don't see her, but she's back there controlling everything that needs to be done. So we appreciate what she does, and she will do a good job. That's just who she is, so that's what she does. So anyway, I think as I look at my notes here, I want to give you an idea of the state of the city, both what has been accomplished and where we're going in 2025, and you'll see on the screen, it will show the information accordingly. So again, I am Leonard Jones. This is my 11th year as mayor, so it's been a blessing and a ministry at the same time. And the reason this is a ministry is about serving. It's about serving the people and about being a servant. So ministry is important, and it's also important for the Grandview Board of Aldermen as well, because this is what we do, and we work together and try our best to do what we can to benefit the city of Grandview. And when I think about that, it's the best decisions we make for the city of Grandview helps not only the city of Grandview, but the community, and it's all about service. Representing Ward 1 is Damon Randolph is here, and as well as Sandra Jones also represent Ward 1. Representing Ward 2 is Irene Kendrick and Annette Turnbaugh. And representing Ward 3 is John Maloney and Thomas Rousey. So this is your Grandview Board of Aldermen. Let's give them a round. And they are some hard workers, and we enjoy working together, and we make good progress. So thank you. As we go through the process, I just want to tell you that every year we actually have a citizen that is chosen as the Civic Leader of the Year. So every year we do that. In 2024, the Civic Leader of the Year is Don Amacost. And Don Amacost is one of the owners of Peterson Manufacturing, and they are celebrating 80 years of service, being in business in Grandview. So Don will also be the absolutely. Don was there this morning, and he's going to be the wonderful parade marshal for the Harry Hay Days, and Harry Hay Days is next Saturday. So those of you that might be interested in participating or having a float and so forth, if you would get in touch with either John Maloney or myself or the chamber, and we can provide information accordingly, but that is good. Also, we have some other people here tonight that have been Civic Leaders of the Year. Well, anybody else that's been a Civic Leader of the Year for the city of Grandview, would you please stand? We have an Air Forceman right here, Charlie. So, and then we have an Army guy, Jim Crane. So both of them have been Civic Leaders of the Year. So we appreciate you guys. It has been an unbelievable year for the city of Grandview. In 365 days, and they have been a long 365 days that we have gone through, we've been able to open a DMV, completely renovate this city hall and the police department downstairs, as well as 2 fire stations. So in 365 days, a lot has happened, and the pictures that you're seeing are just some steps through where we were and where we are, and it's pretty encouraging as well. We also did 3 bridges at Raytown Road, and we did two, both north and southbound, as well as pedestrian there. So all of that was done. We also have new neighborhoods that have gone in. We have two others that are under construction, and it really feels like the city of Grandview is making progress and starting to take off. The question that I hear most is, Mayor, how are we doing all of these things? And you know, that's a great question. How is that happening? In Grandview, everyone works hard to see that promises are kept and projects are completed, and that's vitally important. Behind all of the hard work stands Grandview finances, which are strong and solid. In fact, Grandview achieved something in 2024 that I've been striving for since I've become a mayor. In essence, Standard & Poor's upgraded Grandview from a AA- credit rating to a AA credit rating that's stable. From a AA- to a AA stable rating. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a major accomplishment. If I can equate that, I would say to you, that's like going from a 600 to 850. You know, you're moving up that credit scale, which is pretty powerful itself. We've got a couple of people in the audience that I really want to thank, and that's our City Administrator, Jamal Gangor, sitting in the back. And we have our Assistant City Administrator, Kirk Decker, and also the Finance Director on my right. The thing, and the reason this is so important is that when S&P upgrades your credit rating, you have to do a lot of work, show a lot of data, show a lot of empirical evidence of what you have done to prove and justify why you are here. If they downgrade you, they will contact you. You know immediately that, oh, by the way, your credit rating went down. Same way with you and I. You know, when your credit rating goes down, guess what? They send you a note that says, oh, by the way, your credit rating just decreased. But for your credit rating to go up, you have to do a lot of work, if you're a business, if you're a municipality, to show that I can justify my credit rating. Both Jamal and Kirk and staff actually worked very hard with S&P to show them that we have got empirical evidence to prove why we should be AA. And really, thank you to Jamal and Kirk and staff for the work you have done, because it's amazing to see the benefits our credit rating will have, not only this year, but many years to come. So thank you both for what you've done for the city of Grandview. Appreciate that. And S&P noted Grandview's operating track record and strong management that was instrumental in upgrading the credit rating. This is a huge accomplishment, and we are grateful, but whether it's Grandview's finances, streets, constructions, restaurants, population, or housing, it feels like the city of Grandview is just beginning to take flight. You know, and it's pretty important to see where we have been and get a glimpse of where we plan on going. Staff, could you please stand? We've got city administrator, we've got a number of our department heads here, and again, thank you guys. What we see is what you do, so thank you. And just to note, if any of you are managers or content that can be a manager to some of these department heads, I think after their cameo appearances, they'll be interested in you kind of helping them along the way. So we appreciate that. But it's so important. I think Jamal Inez says, hey, the sky's the limit. Yes, being AA is fantastic. I still think we can go higher. And yes, I know there are criteria and so forth, but it's something to think about and continue to strive for. So it's great to see where we are, but we're not content, and I think that's the most important message. We saw in the video that the police department dispatch was upgraded, and thanks to a grant from the Jackson County legislator. And Legislator Smith is here, and he was one of those that said, yes, let's move this on, and he was the one who introduced this. So we are grateful to the legislators for what they do and how they help us continue to improve the city of Grandview. Grandview's transformation is thanks in part to the voters approving the Building Up Grandview. The Grandview voters passed the $21 million no tax increase bond package in April of 2022. And you think that through, more than 80% approval was gained on all three questions. That's an accomplishment. That lets us know that the Grandview residents wants us to get the work done, and with an approval of 80% tells us make it happen, and we are definitely working toward that. As a matter of fact, since 2022's approval, we are 80% complete with all those projects, and the balance, the 20%, will be completed this year. So that is amazing to be able to go through and do exactly what we said we're going to do and have it completed by the end of 2025. As part of the bond projects, crews are now preparing to resurface 32 more neighborhood streets. When all is done and said, not only 95 streets, neighborhood streets have been completed, but on top of that, 20% of all of Grandview streets would have been resurfaced. That is amazing for Grandview, and we're excited about that. As you saw in the video, Grandview's largest infrastructure project in history will get started this summer. The $23 million Blue Ridge Boulevard Improvement Project is massive, but we've got it broken down in 3 phases. And I told the crowd this morning that additional funds would be even helpful, even though we have the phase 1, which is from Prospect Avenue, from where you guys live, from Prospect Avenue to 3rd Street. That's phase 1, and that's an important phase. Unfortunately, we've already not only gone out to bid, received the bids, and we're preparing to do that. So it's not much scope changes that we can do there. However, phase 2, which is 3rd Street to Grandview Road, and phase 3, Grandview Road on to I-49, we have time. So if additional funds come in, we can change some scopes to include that money to actually improve those projects. So we are excited about where we are, but more importantly, about where we're going. And when you think through, I told the crowd this morning that Congressman Cleaver actually had a representative there, and we want to thank them because Grandview received $4.6 million to do the Blue Ridge project from Congressman Cleaver. It was earmarked. Thank God it was earmarked when it was, because they're not doing earmarks at the moment. So we were able to benefit from that, and that has been priceless. Also, right of the railroad tracks on Main Street, we mentioned the new outdoor structure will host the Grandview City Marketplace. I'm calling it. That's my name for it. The Grandview City Marketplace. Yes, farmers market, but much more. Hopefully we can do small events and so forth that Parks and Rec can even prepare for and plan for. So we are pretty excited about that. Again, another gathering space right off of Main Street, invaluable. It's a vision coming together thanks to a grant from the Missouri Department of Economic Development. And it's so important to realize, if you saw in the video, grant for the police department, grant for Parks and Rec, grant for community development. There is a theme. Can you see the theme? We are fortunate and blessed that we have staff that goes after grant money. And once we get those grant money, we are able to bring that back and do amazing things within the city of Grandview. So we are very pleased about that. Also, the Grandview City Market Space will be the first official fundraising project for the newly created Grandview Parks and Recreation Foundation. So I don't think you probably knew that Grandview now has a Parks and Recreation Foundation. And because of that, it provides individuals and businesses the opportunity to invest in the community or projects with a tax-deductible donation. Now, this is for both individuals and businesses. So we are blessed here. We have both individuals and businesses here. So you are able to invest in the foundation, the Grandview Parks and Recreation Foundation, and receive a tax deduction. So that's encouraging. But again, the Grandview City Marketplace is one of the things that we will be going forth and creating this year. So we're pretty excited about that. And also, again, with funding, we're looking at additional funding to determine what we do for Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Grandview City Marketplace. The National Park Service is investing in Grandview's only national site. That historic site is the Truman Farm Home, is getting much needed attention. Crews are working right now to stabilize the foundation of the 130-year-old home. And that is the home that President Harry Truman spent his childhood and teen years. And to this date, we have an opportunity to tour the Truman Farm Home, and it still is inspiring all those that go through, realizing that we had a president that actually grew up there. That's pretty exciting. Grandview is proof that when a city invests in its infrastructure, private investment will follow. The I-49 and Highway 150, the Christie Development Team has purchased and closed on 20 acres right there at I-49 and 150. That is a very valuable site, and the Christie Development Team has already engaged in a funding agreement with the city about a new retail center with a grocery store. Grandview will be greatly benefiting from another grocery store. This is something the city staff and I have been working on for years, and it's great to see that at least the funding agreement is complete and negotiations continue from there. This morning we had individuals here with us from the Christie Development Team, as well as from the grocery store, the World Fresh Market owner. So we had owners of both of those companies with us this morning, and that was invaluable just to see them and see their presence and see their team. So we enjoyed their presence this morning. In the past 5 years, we've seen tremendous growth along 150 Highway. In fact, a majority of Grandview new homes built in the past 10 years have been within a mile of the 150 corridor. Right now, Riedemere Homes are converting the old clubhouse at River Oaks, and that new clubhouse will not only be a clubhouse for that area, but we have new homes going in, new development is taking place, so we are pretty excited about that. Off of Blue Ridge, developers of Falcon Trails are actually preparing for their public improvements this spring, and that will be another 40 new units going in. Housing developers are buying land in Grandview with the hope of building the very next development and the very next neighborhood, so we are pretty excited about that. And neighborhoods mean families and new students for our 2 school districts. So as you probably already know, Grandview has 2 school districts, Grandview C4 and Hickman Mills are both within the city limits of Grandview. The Hickman Mills School District is making progress with a real-world learning center, and big investments in students is paying off in their test scores. So that's important. This time last year, I was telling you about the Grandview C4 passing a $50 million no-tax bond increase package for more renovations and additional technologies. Grandview School District is currently building a state-of-the-art learning environment for all students, whether they are college-bound or business-bound. They both will be covered. With school and city bond projects, city infrastructure commitments, and private projects, Grandview could see over $100 million of construction going on in the following years. That is massive. When you look at the city, the school district, the private investments, we are ripe for a lot of construction projects. I want to point out something that was in the video, and that's because it said in the video that Grandview's major crime rate fell by 6%, and that is huge all by itself. However, the great accomplishment is that public safety is not only for police, but it's for all of us. It's a community thing, and we have to work together. Over the next 5 years, Grandview Police Department will work to strengthen partnerships to allow for a more coordinated response for both behavioral health crisis as well as regional crime statistics. This commitment to relationship will further its mission of serving Grandview with professionalism, compassion, and integrity. When you're committed to fostering positive relationships, you're building a sense of community. That's one of the many reasons I am hosting a new event in downtown Grandview. Yes, a new event in downtown Grandview. It's going to be called the Fall Harvest Feast on Main Street. We're going to be featuring the chefs and the pitmasters that are on Main Street. As a matter of fact, not only do we have pitmaster, but we also have a musician right there on Main Street. So we have a lot of talent on Main Street. We're going to come together, eat together, block off Main Street, and enjoy each other's company. So we're going to fellowship together at the Fall Harvest Feast on Main Street. More information will be forthcoming. It's an awesome time to be a part of Grandview, just like the people and businesses who choose Grandview as their home. The city is strong and resilient. Growth and progress are impacting real people's lives in a positive way. New projects are improving the quality of life both for Grandview residents and their businesses. Grandview is transforming into everything great we always knew it could be. The city of Grandview is truly taking flight. So God bless you, and God bless Grandview. Thank you. We are fortunate to have many of our Board of Aldermen members here with us, so could you please come up? And this is an opportunity for me just to mention to you all that we have a number of Citizens Academy members here tonight. Would you raise your hands that are part of the Citizens Academy this spring? Raise them a little higher proudly so people know that you're here. Yes, absolutely. Chuck, there you go. All right, thank you. You know, just want to make sure. So we are grateful for you. You guys have been listening to a lot of this information already. You've seen a lot of the slides. You have met many of our department heads already. So thank you for being a part of that. And anybody else in the audience who has already been through Citizens Academy, raise your hand. So we've got some alumni. Look at that. We've got a number of alumni as well that's been through the Citizens Academy. So again, thank you very, very much. And please come on up, meet your aldermen. These are the Board of Aldermen members here tonight, but we have a couple of other Board of Aldermen members that are not here. But come on up and meet them as well. And if you have any questions whatsoever, they can answer them, okay? Thank you very, very much.